Welcome everyone. We have another guide for Wolcen. This time is actually pretty important because this is about the bugs or the problems with the game that maybe we can be aware of and maybe we can avoid that. And sometimes even a possible fix or possible adjustment to it. The first one, items has been disappearing in my inventory. That's right, items are disappearing. My best two-handed weapon was gone, the one I used for the entire gameplay. It disappeared, and also my legendary axe, the first one I ever found, was disappearing. And I didn't know what was happening. I was getting really annoyed. And well, there are a few things you can do. The first fix is, I heard from my friend, he saw that his items were disappearing. What he did was he quickly logged off, and by logging off to the main menu and just by exiting the game, he was able to come back to his inventory and find his item. But then my question is, I don't look at the items when I store them into the storage, and it's hard to identify where do I leave them. So he suggests to put the important items on the second row, and always check it when you come back to town. If they disappear, well, make sure you relog. The downside is, if you're in the middle of the fight and if you relog, you lose your progress with that fight. Well, it's the balance. There's a small chance of getting it back. Other times I tried, they still didn't come back. So that's not the best fix, right? The second fix to item disappearing is that don't put the items you want to keep with you into the storage. I'm still waiting for the developers to fix this. I believe it's with the seek between the cloud, and it's probably very technical. So the best fix I have is, I have great shields here. I don't want to lose them. So what I do is I keep them in my inventory. And what do you do if you, well, run out of inventory space? You can make an alt account, and you can try to put the shield or the item in the inventory and get the alt to grab it, but you also risk of losing it. So what I do with my friend is I get him to make an alt, I just dump all my useless ones onto him, all the ones I want to keep onto his alt account, and he will do the same for me. So the best way is to not put them in the inventory in the first place. But if you do put them there, make sure they're clear to see, and if they disappear, make sure you relog to try to get it back. Second factor, this has been quite annoying for me and my friend. So we're good friends, and he was busy working while I was streaming, so I did progress the game a little quicker than him. And I found some good items. As a good friend will do, I keep the items. I'll be like, he's playing mages, and he's the person that actually helped us to make the curse mage. I was like, he's playing mages, I'm going to keep the spell power ones, I will pass it to him. What happened is, he did not finish his campaign. I joined him by hosting a game, and he joined me. I traded with him, he went back to his game, his entire campaign disappeared. He can't play campaign no more. So basically, he was like a level 30 or level 20 player that went into the late game, and it went into the storm. So basically he went to the end game, the treasure hunt mode, into the end game mode. He can't go back to his campaign anymore. So he was on Act 2 and his Act 3 disappeared. He can't go back to it anymore. So what are the fixes to this? Firstly, you have to be aware. If you are the person that's hosting the game, if you have finished the campaign, make sure maybe you start with the game with the story mode, but not in the the other mode. So I'll show you guys the boss mode. Yeah, this is actually quite annoying. I was so sorry for him, but we didn't know about that. So notice there's two modes in the game, and you do want to be aware. So there's a champion of the Stormfall and there's a story. I think when I partied him up, I defaultly had champion of the Stormfall, and he joined the champion of Stormfall. By unlocking this, he lost all his story progress, which is terrible. So this is something to keep in mind. If you're the host and if you're hosting, make sure you don't start with the champion of Stormfall. The second to that, if he is hosting, make sure he just hosts the current story he's in, and that should not affect you. That's what I believe, because I've tried it before with another friend. He was higher level than me, so he finished the progression. I was in Act 1, so he joined my game and he was able to trade with me, and after that my story was fine and his progress was fine, because he doesn't have to go back to story anymore. He's finished his progress. So this is very annoying if you happen to face it with your friend, because it took him hours to go for the progress and it all disappears. He's okay right now, but I want to make up to him, so I thought I'd let you guys know. One more thing. So as some of us have noticed, when you go into the game like this, you'll be faced with not only your FPS, which you can adjust in your UI settings, you can also face the ping. I think I did mention in one of my guides about the ping. We also had some friends talking about the ping, talking about the difficulty of the game. So two things to fix about this. One thing is, when you come back to the main menu, before you make a game, what you are looking at is you're looking at a choice of which server you're going to go. And if you don't pick the right one, you might be auto-allocated into a higher latency server. And that's not what we want. because action RPGs, you want to have the best latency. So go to game settings. Firstly, if you play story mode, I do recommend going to story mode instead of normal, because normal is the hard difficulty, story mode is the normal difficulty. And if you're into the Champion of the Storm 4, you default go to normal, and this is the harder difficulty I have to say. So second to that, go to settings here, and you can see in settings that I can go into network setting, and I'm selected with Asia lowest ping. I'm currently in Australia, and with Asia lowest ping, it will take me to Sydney. And you saw back there, it was showing Sydney, but if I select Sydney myself, it will take me randomly between the Asian sets. Sometimes Mamabu, sometimes Tokyo, sometimes Singapore, and those are over 200 ping for me. But if I set auto, the same thing happens. It will take me randomly across Asia. So what I recommend is setting yourself on the lowest ping for Europe, Americas, or Asia, depending on your region, and that should give the best ping for the game. And I think that's about it. The first one is about the item disappearing in storage. The second one is about the accidental removing my friend's whole progress camping. The third one is about the pings and difficulty. The last one is, this is a common one, I'm sure most of you have figured out. If your game have no sound, and if the dialogue is not coming up with NPCs, you make sure you quit the game onto main menu, or even exit the game, come back to the game again, and you should have the sound again. So that's something basic. I thought I'd share those because, I don't want you guys to experience the difficulty or the pain of losing items, the pain of, losing progress. So something that we can avoid, something we can prevent, and it doesn't take us much. Yes, it takes a 10th of my inventory maybe. I'm okay. I'm happy to look at my beautiful shield. And yes, check out this shield. This adds 65 and 107 shadow damage to attacks. It's almost as high as a weapon, right? So yeah, this is a really good shield. And if I put this shield down, I'll show you guys the damage. This shield gives me 15k damage, and this goes up as well because my block rate goes up. This is a funny one. It's like, why is it going up? Is it block rate? No, it's something else. I'm just getting high damage. Hey, magic. I'll figure that out. But I'm using this one because my damage actually going with bleeding damage. This shadow damage was not making it higher. This one has 31.8 block chance, which currently gives me better damage for value. Thank you again for watching, guys. Really loving the game, and I'll be looking for more guides and more tips for you guys on the way. Some of those may be trivial, some of those may be more helpful for new players. As we go deeper into the game, I'll show you guys more builds and more advanced tips. Thank you again for watching, and thank you for your support, my friends.